Hello everyone, this is Lois Friend and you are stamping with a friend. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I decided I'd jump on here today and do something. I did have class in January and I've put off doing my video. It's been a crazy month and we're now riding out Storm Fern. Here in Western Maryland, I think they said we've got about anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow at this point in time. I don't know how much we're supposed to get. I'm snug as a bug and we're riding it out. Today is Sunday, January 25th, and we're ready to get started. The cards that I made for January featured the Friendly Foliage Bundle. And I know you hear me say it a lot that this is a favorite stamp, but this one is over the top. I really like this. I believe it is an online exclusive from the November releases, and it's just really pretty and very versatile. We made 3 cards, as we always do each month at my in-person classes. And we did a couple of new techniques, different techniques. I don't know, they may be new to you. But we use Friendly Foliage, the dies and the stamp set. And then I threw in a couple of other stamps, as I usually do. And I always let my card makers decide what occasion. I generally try to make them fairly generic, but they can personalize them when they're in class. And if you're watching online and you want to stamp along, you make them yours. I also used banner sayings, and this is a neat new set. It is a bundle and it comes with a punch. And as much as I like dies, I really like the punches. They're fast, they're easy. You can, you just kind of grab them and go. And I think I threw in a couple other stamp sets. Oh, I know, Prayers and Promises, and I don't have that here at my table, but that is a new one, and it is in the January to April mini catalog. And for anyone who hasn't received one of those and they would like to get a copy, let me know. I have plenty of them, I think, and I can get them to you. If you're local to Garrett County, I can get them to you, or if you want one by mail, just let me know and I can send you one. So anyway, I think that's all the talk. Let's get down to business. We made these 3 cards, all using that the Friendly Foliage Bundle. Now this one got a little oops on it. I try to always keep my cards in a plastic cover when I'm having class, because mine are the floor model and people use them as examples. They look at them and they get passed around, but I wanted to show them what was on the inside, so I had taken it out of the plastic plastic envelope. So I'm gonna have to work at trying to figure out how I can cover that out. That is not a mistake. That is an opportunity for an embellishment. So we're gonna do this one first. And this one had come as a request. I had done a Christmas card that was featured like that, and one of my gals said she'd like to learn how to do it. I don't know if you can see it, but it is embossed. There's line embossing. She thought I had used an embossing folder, but it's a real easy technique, and you can do it with basically any direction, these score lines, because that's all it is. You are scoring. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And you're going to be using the back side of your paper. Basically, whatever you decide to do, you always work on the same side, which makes it the back side. So I just started, I'm using my score tool and, this, rather than my score plate. And you make sure you use this. This is the scoring tool, scoring blade. I can't talk. The snow's got my mouth frozen. And I started at a 1/4 inch. And I just ran it. And then, whoops, I started at a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry. And then I moved it and a 1/4 inch. They're just a 1/4 inch apart. Okay. Then depending on where you want your lines to meet, if you want your lines to meet, you have to be cautious of how you turn it. If you want it to do, if you want your score lines on the left side of the card, you have to be mindful of how you do that. So then you just do the same thing. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. And there you go. And the lines meet. And you can do anything. You can do graduated lines. If you have, if you want to, you could do diagonal lines. There's a multitude of ways you could do that. But for our purposes, we just wanted lines in the corner. All right. Now, the Secret C, it's one of the in colors for 2025 through 2027. And I really like it. It's a dark, it's not navy, it's not black, it's somewhere there in between, but I really, really like it. And this saying, praying that the Lord's promises will bring you hope and comfort in the days ahead, that is from the Prayers and Promises set that is in the mini catalog. And I am sorry. For these photopolymer, I like to make sure that I have a firm surface underneath to get a better image. And there you go. And I have been telling my card makers, when they, instead of rushing and trying to attach everything at, before you get everything assembled, do your inside sentiment before you glue anything together, before you put anything together. Because if you do this inside and you have an oops or a drop or whatever with the ink, you can always turn that around and cover it up. So you have at least one extra opportunity to get it just the way you want it. So I've asked them to try to remember to do the inside first before you attach anything. And I did this, sending love. This is what is in the inside. And I'm going to stamp the flowers or the leaves. And the way I'll do that is, this is the Secret C, full strength. And then I'll just pick this up. And that's just a little bit lighter. clean it off. And then I'm using pecan pie and adding the third color. Just like that. Easy, easy. All right, so I have the inside like I want it. I didn't bring my bone folder over. It's over at my desk. All right, now for these vines or foliage, that's what it is. I will do 2 of the dark, but there again, if you want to do light, it's your card. It's for your creative juices. Do 3 of those, and then I will use this die cut from the die cut dies, and I'll cut that out. In the essence of time, I went ahead and cut. So I'm going to assemble. This is ready to be assembled now, and I'm using dimensionals to pop that up. I don't know about you, but I try not to waste much. So these are the ends of our dimensionals, and I just trim them down and use them too. They work, they're just fine, and I don't waste. Okay. What are you all doing while you ride out the storm if you're in an area where the snow is coming? I've been working on cards, and I hope maybe later this afternoon, maybe I can actually do some scrapbooking. I've been wanting to get back into scrapbooking, and I just haven't had a whole lot of time. But I'm prepared for my February class and actually my March class. These are glue dots. Didn't pull it off there. Yesterday I made cards. My group of card makers are in the process of making cards to distribute through our local Meals on Wheels program. And I made cards yesterday for that. I'm just really kind of enjoying my time being stuck at home, if you'd like. And I went ahead, I used our twine, and I made a bow. A little twine bow. And you just stick that on, and then you can trim it how you want it. You could add bling if you want. But this is my style of card. I'm kind of a, I don't know, simple stamper, clean cut. I don't know, whatever. I don't know, whatever the style is. I like a lot of white showing. A lot of people don't. There again, it's your card. You do however you want to. But that is really, it's a quick, easy card if you need something in a hurry. It's very, very easy to fix, to make. All right, so that leads us to card number 2. And I have a couple of things I wanted to show you with this particular die. I was just playing around with a scrap of, that was in my box that I keep with scraps. And this makes a neat, can't really see it very well, but if you'd want to do something like that, then now where are my dies? Right here. If you want a look like that with just this, you would use this die. That just cuts out the pieces in this section. So that's the look you want. This is what you would do. If you want something like that, where it's not cut out, you would use this. After you stamp on this, you would stamp it and then die cut it. You get a look like that, which that's very pretty. But if you want this look, you'll do both. You would stamp it. Now I did mine separately. I cut out the edge and then I did that because for some reason I couldn't get it lined up. But in class, several of the girls were able to get it lined up, and they did it with one run through their die, with one run through on the die machine. So that works. You can do it. I watched it be done. So, all right. So you have different opportunities and different looks, whatever you're going for. All right. So what I'm going to do, this background stamp is the Lasting Linen. It's a pretty neat stamp. I like backgrounds. And in this one, I did it in the bubble bath. And you can, however you want to stamp it, you can do it any way you want to. But I use bubble bath, which is the lighter color. And I lay my stamp like up. With these big background stamps, I have found that works for me just a little bit better. Ink it up, and then I have what they call a chalky, and I think it's used for various things in crafting. This one was handmade by one of my class attendees' husband. But you can buy them. I have one that I had purchased somewhere online. And that way you know you're getting, and it's just very subtle. That bubble bath is very, very subtle. Okay, and then that is the first layer. And again, I'm not going to glue anything down until I do the inside. And I'll do that in just a minute. All right. Now, I'm going to ink this stamp set. in the bubble bath. Okay, and you'll notice that this has a couple different shades. And I wish I remembered who I watched do this. I can't take credit for knowing how to do this. But I watched a video, and I apologize to the creator that made this card. But whoops, I did it wrong. I'm sorry. Let's back up. You ink it up. See how there's two sides to the paper? I ink this with the bubble bath. Then before I stamp it, I take one of our daubers, and I'm using the Berry Burst ink. And you can do it however you want to make that variegated color. Then you stamp it on the paper. And you get all those different colors. Isn't that pretty? And then, like I said, if you want the whole, if you want it like that, you would. And I always use, when I'm die cutting, I always use some sort of removable tape, Post-it notes or something. And you can do it at the same time. My card maker showed me how. And then you would do that. Now on this card, I'm not sure what I was thinking, but what I did was I die cut it, and then I put it out on another piece of paper, and that kind of defeated the purpose. It does give it a little bit of dimensional look if you'd want that. But I think on the one I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stamp it like, or attach it like that. And you'll notice on this one, I forgot to do the blending or the color. But I'm gonna die cut this real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I had a little bit of movement in it, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so now I'll do the inside sentiment. It says, "You're on my mind and in my heart." And there again, if you'd want to, you could stamp some of the foliage. I didn't on the first one, but you can. now it's ready to assemble. I'm going to attach that first. I should have done this video right after my class because I kind of forget things. And I move things around and things get moved from my one table to the next. And okay, now before you attach this, we're going to do some cording. Okay. Going to just attach a little bit of Scotch tape to hold that in place. And I'm going to go around it, and you can go around it as many times as you want to. And yes, I know I'm probably wasting cord. But I just find this easier. Okay. And yes, I cheat a little bit. I want some cord there, and I don't do it all in one easy swoop. My scissors sharpened. All right, now this is ready to go on the back side. Whoops. That's why I like glue. It's so much more forgiving, and you can move it around a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to add this, but I'm going to use our little small dimensionals in areas, in areas that are big enough to hold it. Oops, I got two. And you can trim these down too, or just use pieces and parts. Okay. All right, I'm ready for the sentiment. And I get a get well soon. And that sentiment is from the Friendly Foliage. And I'm going to cut. This is the 3-banner punch. And I think I'll do that because on this one, the cord is showing through. Maybe that's why I did it that way. Going to use some more dimensionals. And oh, I should do this with the dauber. It just kind of softens the edges a little bit. There again, that's your preference. I just like to do it a little bit like that. There you go. And then I noticed I lost one from on this one. This is what I love about our alcohol markers. I have these pearls. And I'm coloring them with the dark Berry Burst alcohol marker. Let those dry for a minute. And I'm going to replace the one that I lost off of this card. And it's always a good idea to color them before you put them on your card. Because unless you're really good at coloring, I always find I have a ring around my and you can put it anywhere you want. Okay. And that is card number 2. I'll trim these, trim that up. All right. And we have moved on to the fourth and final card. It's a happy birthday card. And again, I meant to write down who I watched, which demonstrator I watched that created this card. It's a single layer. All the dimensions I will post the tutorial once I get the video uploaded. I will have these at the end, at the bottom, in the comments. I can't talk today. Okay, I've done a lot of this pre-video. This embossing folder is new, and again, it is in the January to April catalog. It is a 3D, it's called Stone and Vine 3D, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it's really, really pretty. I love embossing folders. I have said all along, if I had nothing but a few inks and a stamp and had embossing folders, I could work with that. Obviously, I have a lot more than that, but I really, really like embossing folders. All right. Okay. And on this one, if you want to write something or put a stamp on the back, you could, but this I just left it blank. But you can do whatever you want to because it's your card. Okay. All right, now this is just, it's gonna go right there on top. But before I do that, I did not put anything, I did not put a sentiment in, so I'm gonna go ahead and If you'd want to do a sentiment, I would stamp it on the inside before I glue it. So that if you have an oops on one side, you can always flip it around and you'll get it on the next. And then this, I've gone ahead, like I said, I went ahead and I had embossed all of the pieces for my class to save a little bit of time. Never in a rush for the girls or the card makers to come and go, because my card classes are supposed to be their time to relax and chill and spend a few hours with friends and making cards. Coffee pot's always all ready. And then what I did with these is, this is another die cut and stamp. I'll show you how I did this. I went ahead and die cut them already, but I wanted a darker blue than the balmy blue, but I didn't want it too dark. So I used my navy, stamp it off on a scrap, and then that way you get, it's a little darker than the balmy blue, but it's not in your face blue. And this is another one of the stamps foliage. Now I'll do the balmy blue. And basic beige. And this is a color I've had for a couple of years, but I hadn't really used it. And when it first stamps, you go, that's green. But when it dries, it does, it's kind of beige. It's basic beige. I'm sorry, not kind of, basic beige. All right, I went ahead and did stamp and die cut, and I'm gonna place those with the glue dots. If I can find them here in the rubble. How about you all? Do you find when you're creating that you end up with a mess? Always. I have a sign in my craft room that says, creative people don't have messes. They have ideas lying around everywhere. One of my customers made it for me, and she knows me. She knows me. Because if my creativity is based on my mess, I must really be creative. I'm going to put that one around that way. And then these little die cuts were done with another one of the dies from that set. Like I said, it is really, really versatile. Oops. Oops, oops. Well, I'm having trouble with my glue dot. And I did a beige one, and a basic beige one, and a white one. All right, then the happy birthday went on. The paper I'm using for this is from the December product of the month called True Blue Florals. And it is, it's really pretty paper. Stampin' Up! Made the decision last year to stop doing celebration this time of year and doing a product of the month. And so far, those products have been amazing. Oops. Let's try that again. I got it crooked. It's two-sided. It's really, really pretty. This vine actually goes along really well with this stamp set. All right. And when I'm doing, then I have extra little pieces and parts. And again, I'm going to use dimensionals. Pop it up. Okay. You can always add a piece of this inside if you want. You have all those little extra tags, and then I'm going to just glue this to the front of the card. Whoops. And I see I got it a little bit crooked. I don't know if that, like I said, I have to work with that a little bit. All right, and there you have it. 3 very easy cards, and that is the January cards. I will be back in February, and our February classes are going to be featuring the Nature Symphony suite that is in the January-April book. New catalog. And as always, if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. If you just get in contact with me, I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook, Lois Friend from Heart and Hands, and or put it in the comments. I do read comments. So have a safe weekend. Stay warm. Drink an extra cup of hot chocolate, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.